Okay, this week's question comes from April, who asks, would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck? Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's it.
That's good.
Okay, I'm glad I got that right.
It's Sam.
Fellas, Sam?
100 duck-sized horses? That's
one horse.
adorable sounding.
It is adorable sounding. And
Like, I hate
feel
horses.
Like ducks aren't that big, right?
Well, okay, I'm kind of picturing them as little ducklings, to be honest, but I guess ducks are, like chicken size,
Right.
Maybe kind of, little dog size, almost horses.
Let's assume that there's 100 horse-sized dogs and
Horse-sized dogs or dog-sized horse? Get it right, Ben.
duck-sized horses.
Dogs?
What can they do to you? Like
There's 100 of them.
They can bite you, right? But
And they will because they're horses, and
Right.
horses are evil.
but think about proportionally the size of a horse to the size of like a duck, and you could probably like break their legs with just a good kick.
Yeah.
Like you keep kicking at them.
Keep punting the duck-sized horses.
Right. Duck-sized horses flying through the air.
I think we just made up an indie game.
Remind me to
Indie
work
developers,
on that.
get on that shit.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, because I feel like, it seems simple enough. Like, okay, there's 100 duck-sized horses. I'll just fucking kick them and step on them and stuff. But at the same time, what if they're all 100 of them, like, attacking you at once? They
Yeah.
could probably, like, overpower you.
Now, what we need to figure out is how fast like a horse can run, and then scale that to a duck size, and see if you could be able to outrun them. Because if you can outrun them or like gain the high ground on them, I feel like there's more you could do.
Any physics nerds listening to this right now, feel free to leave a comment going through all of the intricate math here.
I'm sure it's a fairly common question.
Somebody like puts like a whole paragraph of like, this is if it was average duck size, they would run about this fast and it'd be this. The body mass of a horse is this, so scale that down. And basically,
I want someone to take this. I want someone to take this particular episode, like splice out this bit, send it to my old high school science teacher, Mr. Volts. I'm sure he'd be happy to figure it out.
Your science teacher name was Mr. Volts?
And he was the coolest fucker ever.
Mr.
Also,
Volts.
Mr. Volts, if you're listening, one, I apologize for the language. Secondly, the band's going great. And 3, I'm sorry I was so awful at chemistry. And thanks for passing me.
How many of your teachers do you think swore like sailors outside of school?
All of them. Every single one of them.
Foley High School, probably all of them.
Every single one of them.
Because I know there are some people at my high school that I went to for 1 year that just didn't have any darns left to give.
Did you guys ever, well, okay, Ben didn't because you were homeschooled at the time, but like, Sam, did you ever have like Dare come to Malacca?
I don't know if they ever like, if an organization ever came.
Or if they ever did like a unit talking about like, drugs and the dangers of them and everything, and like the dangers of alcohol.
I actually one time
I guarantee that like when they gave all those lectures about it, the teachers in the back thinking, I'm gonna get so wasted tonight.
Probably.
One of the things that I went to, it was like one time they had this Wednesday night thing at the elementary school. It was like some Christian get together or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like every week, but I only ever went once. And the one time I went, they had like a representative from Dare there talking about that. And even then, like, I don't remember how old I was. It was somewhere between the ages of 11 and 15. But even then I was like, I don't know about this. Something seems off.
Right. Like I remember teachers telling me, like a bunch of teachers telling me that it's like, oh, I don't drink, I don't do drugs, and neither should you.
Right. I mean,
they're so full of shit.
That's one thing, kind of, but I feel like also if you listen to the Dare thing, or at least the way it was back in the day, it sort of has the vibe of like a sex education, abstinence only, don't hold hands or kiss or you'll get pregnant kind of vibe to it.
I did once.
And you got pregnant?
Ruined my life. Yeah, I got so fat.
And then what happened? Like, you have a baby?
Yeah, Ben, do you even know what pregnancy is? Yes, I had a baby.
And where is this baby now?
I don't know.
Shit!
Shit! Oh, when did we move to Seattle? I hope it's still alive. Oh, God.
Did you remember to water it?
How often do they have to eat?
They're like snakes. So just like feed them a rat once a month.
Just spray them with a water bottle so they don't get too dry.
Yeah.
So back to
the other side is the horse-sized duck.
Yes, thank you.
I would go with a horse-sized duck.
That'd be terrifying.
I know that sounds like giant and stuff, but horses aren't like that huge compared to like, the size of an adult human. And the way I see it, I'm thinking about this with video game logic. Horses are made to run fast, right?
Sure.
Ducks are not. So they, especially being that size, they would move pretty slowly. So all you'd have to do is basically just be able to like get around it and get on top of it, and then like basically hit it with some kind of blunt object.
That's the thing about the ducks is that, or the horse-sized duck, is there's only one of them. So if you can get a good, like, you got a knife, you could slit its throat or something. That's basically it. Like, you've won.
And you have a lot of surface of throat there.
Yeah, and
duck.
because it's a duck. And after that, you've got like this pile of delicious duck meat, fresh duck meat that you can take home and make. It's like, who's going to make 100 like broken bodies of tiny horses? Who's going to eat that?
Right.
You can make really eat horse meat as it is.
You can make like 100 small bottles of glue.
Yeah.
Tiny bottles of glue.
Like a bottle of super glue, but just regular.
Or you could have the dopest Thanksgiving ever. Segue!
What is today?
Welcome to Sadcast Seattle episode 8.
Which is airing
on Thanksgiving, motherfucker.
Oh my god, I'm so thankful for that.
Cue theme music.
That's the theme song.
We get a theme song?
We've said that like 3 times. We're not going to get a theme song.
We have one. We have one. You made it.
Any extra work that you have to do is just not going to happen.
The reason the Sadcast is so consistent every week is because we turn on microphones, talk for an hour, or half an hour, 40 minutes, turn them off, and put it online.
Right. We don't need to do anything special for this.
Speaking of special things, though, did we get approved for iTunes?
We did. We are currently on iTunes. And if you go to the iTunes and you go to the podcast section, search for Sadcast Seattle. That's how and I don't know, we might change the name when we get back or something, but right now it'll just be Sadcast Seattle forever. But yeah, Sadcast Seattle. And then you can subscribe on iTunes. You'll get our podcast automatically delivered to you whenever it's up. If you don't have iTunes, there's also, you go to sadcast.wordpress.com and there's a subscribe button that you can just subscribe with any podcast reader you please.
Yep, there's that.
I'm not going to do it.
Or, as always, we're going to put these up on YouTube, and you can subscribe to our YouTube page and get the Sadcast every week there.
Really, we just want to provide you with so many options that you just pick whichever is the most convenient, because we know that's the only way people are going to listen.
Yeah, you should do all of them.
Yeah, well,
listen to the Sadcast at least 3 times a week. Once off of our WordPress page, once on iTunes, then once on YouTube.
Yeah.
And if you search archive.org where they're hosted, you could probably find them there too.
So yeah, we're a real podcast now. That's pretty cool.
Wow. What do we do now?
Do you want to know how many subscribers we have?
Do we have subscribers?
At least 12.
I'm looking.
He's looking.
That's Facebook.
Oh man, we have Facebook subscribe. Oh wait, no, that's not how that works.
It's not a number, Sam.
We did it.
10.
What? It went down 2?
Down by 2.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
We didn't even post one since then.
No, we didn't. It
It's
was
just like-
12. It was 12 like a couple days ago, and now it's 10.
It's just like
People had subscribed to it initially, and then at some point they just stopped.
before
and
we
were like,
even got our
"Wait,
first one up. Like,
what am I
How much
doing?"
you want to bet they looked in the newest podcast on iTunes, like, oh, what's this? And then they heard it, and they're like, yeah, not my thing.
They heard it like, oh god, what have I done?
And speaking of which, if you want to help us out, if you want the podcast to grow and maybe eventually get some budget, or I don't know what I'm talking about, but you should go and give us
money
review on iTunes.
Oh yeah,
5 stars, right?
Well, at least 5.
Right. I mean, that's not actually rating us any good. That's just sending good vibes, right?
Right. It's like a prayer.
Right. Or when they ask you to fill out a survey, if you don't give them all 5s, they're going to get reprimanded by their boss for their performance.
Right.
Vote 5 stars. Leave a comment down below telling us what your favorite feminism is. Subscribe. MySpace our videos to all your friends.
Anyways,
put us in your top 8.
I don't need to know any more about that. That's all various.
So,
either here or there.
The point is, our podcast is now magically available in a whole bunch of places, whatever suits your fancy.
Hot Topic on vinyl.
You can actually mail order cassette copies of the podcast.
DIY or die.
So
man.
Sadcast Seattle episode 8, and it is airing on Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
I hope you have a wonderful time and spend it with all the people that you care about most.
I hope you eat turkey because I fucking hate turkey and I hate you, and I hope you just hate it as much as I do and you eat all of it. You're like, oh, this is so dry and terrible. I fucking hate you, Sam.
I'm actually a little bit jealous of most of my family because they all went to my grandma's house and she makes the best turkey.
I just don't like turkey. I mean, the dark meat, which isn't honestly very much of the turkey, is okay.
Turkey is like if Pepsi is if Coke is chicken, then Pepsi is turkey. It's almost the same thing. Like you like chicken, don't you?
Depends.
All right,
If you
so-
just bake it, no.
If you're already iffy on chicken, then you're probably not gonna like it.
Okay, but here's the thing. You deep fry chicken, it's awesome. But if you deep fry a turkey, yeah, it's going to be good. But then you get to the middle of it, you're just like, this is just boring meat. Oh, who cares about this? Not me. Oh. Have you seen the South Park episode where Cartman eats all the skin off the chicken? That's what I would do with a turkey. And I'll leave the rest of the dry-ass turkey meat to you.
If it's dry, maybe that's why, because turkey's a little harder than chicken to make.
Well, yeah, it's a lot
You got to
bigger.
put a lot more effort into it.
Well, most of the time people will make it all at once, as a whole turkey. I like turkey, but I feel like if I ate it more than like twice a year like I do, I would probably not like it as much.
Speaking of eating things, did you buy any stuffing?
No.
I think I might go buy a box of stuffing and then
If
make it
you want to
tomorrow
contribute to the meal,
and then
Yeah,
eat
this
half of it.
this is what happened. I get home from the grocery store yesterday. I have bags and bags of stuff. I spent $70 on Thanksgiving meal stuff. And Ben goes, well, what about turkey? Oh, okay, Ben. Sure. Let me just drop more money on something that you want. And don't even thank me for the fucking instant mashed potatoes I bought.
Or the turkey loaf you
Hey,
bought.
turkey loaf is good. And then when I message Jake Ehrlichman's coming over tomorrow for Thanksgiving. Or today.
Awesome.
Yeah, fuck it.
Today. Wow, sure.
He's coming over and I'm like, yeah, I don't have turkey. I just have turkey loaf. He goes, dude, I was going to suggest turkey loaf. And I'm like, I found another person who likes turkey loaf. Thank God.
so yeah, that's what our Thanksgiving plans are. We're going to
Spam.
If I magically show up with a decent amount of money just for some reason, I might go out, buy a fully cooked chicken and pretend it's turkey.
A rotisserie chicken?
Sure, why not?
That's pretty cheap.
Yeah, right?
I mean, $6-7.
At least, is it that price
Although
in Seattle?
good luck finding one.
Yeah, it might be hard tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably close to that price. Yeah.
But yeah, I know most people are out with their families or whatever and shit for Thanksgiving. We made the dumb decision to come out to Seattle, and it turns out we don't really have any family out here.
I
So
don't have family anywhere.
we invited Jake Ehrlichman over to our apartment. We're going to try and make some kind of a decent meal, and we're going to pretend to like football, and it's going to be a good time.
Are we gonna have football on the TV?
We should. I feel like we should.
If not, like I can just find like a game of Madden on YouTube and just play that on the TV.
Just find like a let's play of someone playing
Yeah.
Madden, and we just watch that.
Or like I'll just pirate the latest version of Madden and put the teams that are playing against each other in the game.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll just watch that.
That could be cool.
See, guys,
We did that.
We can sports.
We did that with NFL 2K3, I think, at my grandparents' house. It was like what they did was the real game was on TV, and we put the CPU game on the GameCube in like the guest room. We just tried to see how much they matched up.
That's awesome.
They didn't.
No.
So what do you guys normally do like with your families or whatever for Thanksgiving?
For us, it's usually go to the grandma and grandpa on my dad's side because they're in Wisconsin, and it's not that it's like 3 hours drive maybe. Get there in the evening, spend the night, and then like all day Thanksgiving, like various family members from Wisconsin just show up, and then we all eat a whole ton of food, and then we take naps and watch the football game.
That sounds about normal.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Pretty
it's,
American.
pretty
I like
average.
it.
It's very American.
Sam?
I don't know how many of my family members listen to this. Probably not many. I fucking hate Thanksgiving. I fucking hate it. It usually consists of, oh, we're all gonna eat food, and then I sit in the basement by myself and eat the fucking meal. And if God forbid I go back for anything extra, fucking one of my
Really?
family members will be like, "You fat fuck," and like just like be really rude about my weight, and then I'll go back downstairs and eat by myself and not come back upstairs for a few hours because they were fucking terrible.
What the hell? Like Thanksgiving's like the time you're supposed to eat a lot.
I know,
Yeah.
and it's never like I'm not taking like a ton, and it's just like I ever come back for a second. It's always just like a little like humorous thing, like, oh yeah, you're gonna eat it all, haha. I'm just like, all right, I've seen you take 3 plates, you fucking
Right?
fuck.
Okay. Sam, if you don't eat a lot tomorrow, then I will call you a fat
I'm fucking good. That pie, that's for myself.
That's cool.
I bought a
If you
pecan pie.
only eat one plate, then I'll call you a fat
Dude, my
fuck.
grandma
Okay.
always
Your minimum 2.
makes way more than she needs to because it's like she's gonna make this much food and then it's gonna be like you eat it for Thanksgiving, then we have it for leftovers for supper, and then we have those leftovers for like breakfast or something.
Right.
You just keep eating, and then like turkey sandwiches the next day.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, so that's my Thanksgiving. I don't like it ever.
It seems like the stereotype of Thanksgiving in like comedy movies is always it's the family awkward family get together where you meet people you don't really want to.
Yeah, I know my family.
There isn't really anybody in my family where I like it's awkward.
Yeah.
It's always
my family's kind of small, so
yeah,
never more than like 10 or 15.
Yeah, my family usually gets together for Christmas, not really for Thanksgiving. So it's usually just like immediate family.
Yours is a little more spread out, isn't it?
Yeah, well, my dad's side of the family's actually all pretty much in the area. It's just that my dad's side of the family only gets together if either it's Christmas or if someone's dead. I think last time it was actually both. Pretty awesome.
Sounds
That was pretty rad.
My grandma died last Christmas.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, fun. Merry Christmas. Oh, by the way, your grandma's dead? And I'm just like, oh, cool. But did I get anything from her this year? Did she send it before she died?
That's the true spirit of Christmas.
Man. And what I did get was terrible. like her will or whatever. Oh, man, it was it's the funniest shit.
You want to talk about it?
Oh, man. Well, my mom just found it. She's like, what is this? And I was like, oh, Grandma Fassler gave me some shit when she died. She's like, she did? And I'm just like, yeah, my cousin Paige brought it over to me. She's like, I didn't know about this. She opened it up and she just bust a fucking gut thinking it was the funniest thing. It's like embroidered pillow with these frilly things all over it with a picture of Lewis and Clark on it because like my family's like a member of the fucking Lewis and Clark Foundation because my great uncle went on the entire expedition with them, but yet nobody knows his name because he's not Lewis or Clark. His name is Patrick Gass with 2 S's. Look it up. He went on the entire expedition with them.
I will.
Nobody cares. That's my family. So my grandma gave me that and then some creepy like weird rag doll thing. It's super fucking creepy.
Now, what did you end up doing with these things?
They're sitting in the garbage bag they came in. They came in a garbage bag. How funny is that? Oh.
All right, rest in peace, Grandma Fassler.
Yeah, shit. She's crazy. She's funny. She called herself a cougar. She came to my graduation and she hit on my friends.
All right, as any good grandparent should.
Yeah, right. Keep going.
If you're a grandparent and you're not at least a little bit creepy or eccentric, you're really not doing it right.
Right.
True.
But yeah, my family for Thanksgiving, what we would usually do. My mom is a fantastic cook. But my family is my family has a bunch of picky eaters in it because we have like people with special needs and stuff like that and yada yada yada.
I fit right in that one time I came over for dinner. Yeah,
no, Ben knows what I'm talking about. So it's kind of hard for my mom to like cook for my family, so she has to keep things pretty simple. But Thanksgiving, holy fuck, Thanksgiving! Like Thanksgiving, she gets to shine and she just makes everything, and she does it all from. My mom gets up at like 10 in the morning and does not stop cooking shit until we.
It's not even early. It's like 2 hours before lunch. It's just like she gets up at 10 a.m.
Well, okay. Do you guys have like a dinner Thanksgiving or a lunch?
Oh, we have a dinner Thanksgiving.
See, that's a little more time.
You do you normally do Thanksgiving for lunch?
I think that's
dinner is lunch.
You mean because we're
supper?
We're from Minnesota, so we call it supper. But yeah,
what the fuck are you talking about?
Dinner is lunch. Dinner is at noon.
I'm gonna say lunch is lunch, and dinner and supper are interchangeable.
That's what I was taught.
No, dinner and lunch are interchangeable.
I think we're gonna start fighting. I think we need to break up the band right now.
That's the end of the Sadcast. Good night, everybody.
Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to iTunes, give us rate us
5 stars.
Give us a review that says what your version of what do you call the 3 meals of the day.
Oh, okay.
Like what is your take on the supper?
But to be fair,
dinner?
I don't use dinner at all. I use lunch and supper. But dinner is replaceable for lunch. So where does dinner fall? At noon or at like 6 or 7?
I think that's a regional thing too.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, my mom. Okay. Well, the evening most meal, whatever the fuck you want to call
supper.
it.
I mean, we all can call it supper.
That's when we would normally have Thanksgiving, and not only that, but because my brothers and stuff are all getting older now, and my brother just got a house and he has a kid and stuff. He would bring all them over, and we would just have like a giant meal and stuff. And none of us like football, but we would definitely sit around and watch like cartoons or something.
Is there any wrestling on Thanksgiving?
It's on a Thursday, so typically no. Unless my brother wants to watch like TNA or Ring of Honor, which no one wants.
Did you just say Thursday? It's on Thursday?
No,
well,
no, it's
Thanksgiving is Thursday.
Thanksgiving's on Thursday.
I thought you said wrestling's on Thursday, so no, I'm like, what the fuck?
No, Thanksgiving's on Thursday.
It's dinner, lunch. God damn it, Varric.
Oh god, this is a train wreck. Uh,
All right. You got okay. You got more to say about that?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say we could shift a little bit because I want to get your guys' opinion on when is like the divider between the Halloween, Thanksgiving part of the holidays and the Christmas part.
It's
like
all Christmas.
It's all is like Halloween is Christmas.
There's no Halloween. There's no Thanksgiving. It's just Christmas.
Because it wasn't always this way, but we ended up having a rule in our family, and everybody in my family loves Christmas music so much, but we started listening to it so much that it wasn't as special around the holidays. We like listening to Christmas music in the springtime, in the middle of summer, whenever, just because it's Christmas music. We came up with the rule there was no Christmas music allowed in our household until the day after Thanksgiving. As soon as Thanksgiving is over, it is full throttle into Christmas season. But before then, we'd always, focus on the other fall holidays.
So yeah, how early is it to start celebrating Christmas?
And I don't think I'm not going to say that this applies to, like, I don't want to have social commentary on when stores start decorating or whatever, because they always do everything early because you got to get people thinking about it. Otherwise it won't be ready. But for just personally, what has your experience been with that?
I like Christmas a lot, a fair amount. And I tend to get into the spirit of the season relatively earlier than most, but I like to keep it pretty low key until after Thanksgiving is done. Not that I really care that much about Thanksgiving as a holiday, but just because that's what everyone else kind of does, and I don't want to be obnoxious about it. I'm not a big fan of when stores bust out the Christmas music too early, but yeah, at the same time, I get it. Like, they have to do these things kind of early because people get their shopping done earlier and earlier.
Right.
How long I think it's appropriate to, like, I don't know. I said on Twitter earlier today, and by today I mean Wednesday.
I mean, you set up our tree.
I set up our Christmas tree today,
which is actually a strange fireplace wrapped in Christmas lights.
We don't have a tree, so I just wrapped our fireplace in lights. Good enough.
But it's the day before Thanksgiving, so I feel like that's stretching it a little, but that's not too early.
Well, Ben and I are going home for Christmas, so it's not like we're going to be able to do much holiday-related stuff here.
Speaking of which, Sam.
Hi.
I should set up my small interface on your computer with a good mic before we leave, because if we're going to do the Sadcast, we're going to have to get you in on Skype.
Okay.
So we'll do that.
Yes.
But yeah, when it's appropriate to start celebrating Christmas, I don't know, or I guess, whenever you want.
I decided was it today? Maybe? Yeah, it was today. That this coming year, Valentine's Day is now going to be called Second Halloween by me.
Second Halloween?
And I'm just going to watch scary movies.
Wait, isn't that your birthday?
Yeah, Second Halloween. It's my birthday.
You're just declaring it Second Halloween and watching scary movies.
Right. I mean, it just so happens my birthday falls on Second Halloween, but yes.
Well, I think we should have a second Halloween movie marathon.
I agree.
And we should watch the horror movie called Valentine's Day.
Hell yeah. I'm totally down for that. Sounds horrible.
Only if we also watch...
Oh, it's pretty bad, I heard.
Only if we also watch Halloween 2.
Okay.
I've already seen Halloween 1.
The second Halloween.
But...
Okay, Sam, do you have opinion on the whole, like, is it when it is appropriate to start celebrating Christmas?
It's never appropriate.
Well, that's the other thing is I don't want to make it when is it appropriate. It's when is your preference.
My preference? Never. I don't think you should really celebrate or like pay too much attention to Christmas until like 2 weeks before. But like putting up some lights or whatever, sure, yeah. But fucking so much Christmas music, so much. And I get the stores. The stores are a completely different thing because they have to make the money and people got to do their shopping earlier.
But you get a little overwhelmed by all the stuff everywhere.
Well, it's just as annoying as when I saw everybody posting that it was Halloween month on Twitter during October 1st. Like, October 1st, it's too early to celebrate Halloween. December 1st is still too early to celebrate December.
Maybe
December, Christmas.
Been a little more used to it, I guess, because my dad's a pastor, and what we would always do is starting at the beginning of December, we had like this big, gigantic, cryptic thing that had a bunch of little books in it, and you would take out the books, one for each day of Advent, of the Advent season. There's this thing called the Advent calendar that has stuff leading up to Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it would have been 25 things.
Yeah,
and then,
I think my family had one of those things too. Like we had like a set of like 25 drawers. Each one of them contained like a tiny Christmas ornament that we would put on our tree. And then
what happened to the regular chocolate?
I don't know.
Come on, guys.
But this thing had like, it would be like like here's 1/25 of the Christmas story, and it would lead all the way up to the things. These teeny tiny books we read at supper time. But and it was always the best part. Part of the best part was the freaking lights. There was this one house outside this neighborhood of our church that our church was right next to, and we'd drive by it on the way home, and they'd have a radio station you could tune to, and it would be broadcasting, and the lights was like this massive light show around the entire yard that would go along with the music, and I always thought that was super cool. And depending on where you live, that's also when it starts to get snowy, and you get snowball fights and snow angels and snowmen. Like, it all sort of comes together around that time. And then about the time January rolls around, I'm completely sick of it, and I'm like, all right, let's go back to the nice weather.
All right.
White
So, I mean, like, snow and stuff is cool, but celebrating Christmas or like acknowledging Christmas too early is a different thing to me. And here's a perfect example. I'm just going through Twitter here. There's a show coming up at the Garage, December 10th. That's 15 days before Christmas, so it's a little over 2 weeks. It's called Mosh Around the Christmas Tree 2. We played the first one.
Yeah.
Now there's a second one, Mosh Around the Christmas Tree. It's a Christmas themed show on December 10th. Is that too early? Mainstate's playing. Huh.
If you were to put it ideally, like if you could put it closer to Christmas, that'd be cool. Like that'd be like, oh, it's more in the season of Christmas, but it's also harder for people to be on the show.
Yeah.
Like if you had sent a message to the bands trying to figure out when the best day of the show is, I doubt super close to Christmas would be their response.
Right. But when was ours? I mean, ours
Wasn't ours like the 18th or something?
Yeah.
It was closer.
A lot closer. I don't know.
We can't. There's no way we can do that
though.
this year though, because there's Star Wars. No one's gonna miss Star
That's
Wars
true.
for that show.
Can I just say that Zealot is headlining, and that's awesome. And At Morning's End is playing, so that's all right.
Okay,
Steel Breather and Nanashi.
I have the event page up for the first one. It was December 19th.
Oh, even closer.
Now you're just making me disappointed.
So who else was on that show? Sorry, I got
Zealot, At Morning's End. I put it away, so I'm closing my eyes to remember. Steel Breather, Nanashi, Main State, and Oklahoma Caddyshack.
That sounds like a pretty solid lineup. You should go to that if you're in Minnesota.
Yeah. Look at us reporting on local stuff.
Why would we do that? Never. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's all kind of like, I understand like how kind of weird it is being like, oh yeah, that's a full 10, 15 days before Christmas. But yeah, from a realistic standpoint, having a holiday theme show would be fun, but like having it so close to the date, you want to make sure people can still go.
Yeah, people have plans around holidays. It's just always the case.
Yeah, I kind of understand.
I don't.
I feel like we're almost kind of being conditioned.
We're saying that, but we're throwing a show on New Year's.
Well, I haven't announced that yet, Ben.
Hey, it's almost Christmas.
I need to get the lineup finalized.
It's not finalized? I thought it was finalized.
I'm waiting to hear back from one dude.
All right.
I'm planning a show on New Year's Eve, Ben.
Oh, I'm sure the 30 people who listen to this are going to be like, oh,
I know.
secret.
I know. I just wanted you to admit that very few people listen to this. Anyways, I feel like as people are kind of conditioned that Christmas is basically just this month-long thing. TV networks will do Christmas movie marathons all the way from right off the bat from December 1st. Pretty much as soon as Halloween is done, Hallmark Movie Channel just does nothing but Christmas movies 24 hours a day.
Remember when people were all concerned about the commercialization of Christmas? Does anybody remember when that was a thing?
No.
All right, maybe it was just like a common theme among Christian media was that Christmas was getting to all about the presents and buying stuff and all this stuff, and you got to understand the true meaning of Christmas.
What is it?
You see that a lot in Christmas themed movies.
Saving Christmas with Kirk Cameron.
Well, it's clear it's Jesus if you're Christian, and it's giving if you're secular.
Yeah, it's
that's the truth. It's not about getting, about giving.
I think my boyfriend likes giving, so he wants me to receive. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
Yeah,
we can't both give.
It's a Christian thing.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Jesus wants me to fuck people in the ass. Is that what it is?
I mean, is that in the spirit of giving?
Yeah, I guess. So Jesus wants us to give.
'Tis better to give than to receive.
So if you're Christian, fuck a non-Christian in the ass.
And if you're And I can't think of that story. You know the story about the guy with they bought each other presents and then they were sold the things that they needed to use the presents to buy each other.
Is this the Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse thing?
There's been a lot of retellings of it.
The harmonica.
I know what story you're talking about. I forget like where it originated.
The only one I ever remember is the Adventures in Odyssey one, where like somebody bought somebody a comb and somebody sold their hair to buy this thing for the guys. So
you know what? I remember now. Yeah, there's been a lot of tellings of it, but I remember when I was younger, it was told there was Sesame Street. They did an interpretation of it where Bert and Ernie got each other separate gifts. Like, what was it? Bert sold his paperclip collection to get like a little boat for Ernie's rubber ducky.
Yeah.
And Ernie sold his rubber ducky to get
heroin.
Yes, just to get drugs. No, to get like a cigar box that Bert could keep his paperclip collection in. And then they're like, oh shit, we did this thing. And then
they just fucked.
And then they fucked. No, I believe it ended with Mr. Hooper coming around and being like, yeah, I hear you guys both have your things back. Merry Christmas.
That's one way to end it.
He's dead.
It doesn't in the original story. They just don't have the things, and they're like, "Oh, but we're happy that we're friends." And
yeah, I think it's supposed to be like if someone gives you a shitty gift, it's the thought that counts.
I think it was that the moral is that they were caring more about the other person than themselves. They were giving up something that they like,
and
so
look
that they can
what
get something.
happened to them.
And yeah, that's just the moral of the story is don't do that.
Don't.
Fuck.
The moral of the story is Secret Santa sucks when there's only two of you.
Because you know who the fuck it is.
Yeah.
I wonder who it is. Ernie, is it you? How'd you know? I fucking hate you, Bert.
So we are 3 minutes over the 30-minute mark.
Can we be done? I'm just kidding.
We talked a lot about not Thanksgiving in this episode.
Sam's tired.
We talked a lot about Thanksgiving too, though.
We did. There wasn't really too much to talk about Thanksgiving.
I mean,
I remember there was something I wanted to bring up. I said on Twitter earlier today that I personally believe that Thanksgiving is not going to be a holiday in about 10 or 20 years, somewhere between there.
Now, why do you think that is?
It's a couple of things. One, it has to do with, Christmas taking over, basically
You think it'll just get absorbed into Christmas?
I feel like it just kind of gets absorbed into Christmas. People are more focused on that, especially because the second thing, Black Friday is a thing, and that is, kind of overtaking the day. A lot of stores are opening at like 6 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day. And then third thing is social justice warriors, I think are going to campaign against Thanksgiving.
I think the opposite.
Because the origins of Thanksgiving are basically rooted in racism and white people being dicks to non-white people.
True. I'm going to go ahead and say, though, that I think it's going to go the opposite direction in that the Thanksgiving is going to expand and eat both Christmas and Halloween, and it will become one massive 3-month holiday where you are thankful for being scared and give that as a gift to your friends and family somehow.
That sounds
This
like
one's
a shitty
super holiday. This is like you have to scare people
Right.
as a gift and eat while you do it.
And then eventually that's gonna like cross over. Then you got like 4th of July, Labor Day, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, Valentine's Day, like mashup until it eventually becomes a year-long celebration with like feasts and tons of wine and alcohol that just never ends. Like year-long debauchery.
No one
overtakes
works.
the
Really
country.
awful.
No one works. We all just become really fat.
Right.
And then the movie WALL-E becomes a real thing.
And then the movie before that though, the movie Idiocracy becomes real.
True.
So segue into that.
Idiocracy is like the prequel to WALL-E.
We could make that a thing.
Sam, do you have an opinion on Thanksgiving and being a legit holiday?
Oh, it'll be here forever.
Think so?
Oh yeah.
Well,
It's not going anywhere.
my family's going to keep celebrating it.
Yeah, no. Nobody's gonna stop celebrating it.
I think
It's a
even
day
if-
to get off work. You think people are gonna stop that?
True.
No one's ever that's not going
Very
anywhere.
true. Now, say figuratively, we got to that point where we were all fat and awful, and
I'm already there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, are we not there already? Like,
What if this happens and all the technological advances catch up to us and there's just too many fat fucks everywhere? What are we gonna do to control population?
Kill them. Obvious answer.
We're gonna regulate life.
How are you gonna do that?
Well, like if you're born, no abortions, but if you're born, this like you get a spin a wheel, and if it lands on you live, and if it lands on you die, you die. And they just adjust that wheel to be like whatever the chances, whatever is optimal for the human race. And there's a thing in like ecosystems and animal things that's like the optimal herd size, which is why we can hunt deer, because their size gets over optimal. It gets to be too much, and then it starts being not good for the herd, so we thin them out and everything gets better for the
So we should thin out the human race.
Right. And then you just adjust that wheel to whatever the best herd size for humans is, whichever direction you need to go.
So
you let some live and you let some die.
What I don't get is I've seen some people post about this kind of thing, and they're like, yeah, we're going to have to do something about this overpopulation. But those same people freak out when ISIS kill a bunch of people. So,
well, maybe that's not like, maybe they just want it to be more regulated than just some like, random
we should only just do the dumb people, or the blacks.
That's just like, how do you decide there?
I think
Hitler was on the right fucking track here.
All these people. The problem is you're focusing on like races or nationalities or religions or whatever, but you gotta
left-handed people
it's
are
gotta
out.
Be more scientific, like more focused on moral and ethics than just that. Like I'm thinking we just have a list of things that like if you do these, then you're not allowed to exist anymore. Like talking at the movies, kicking a dude in the junk. I mean, what else would go on this list?
Bad tone.
Liking Black Veil Brides.
I'm
out. I'm dead.
Or Broken Side.
Honestly, if there was like a big thing like that and I fell into the category, I think I'd just be, as long as it wasn't like a super painful death, I'd probably just have to be okay with it.
Right.
Just like, hey, sorry, your IQ and this and this and this all kind of lined up, and you are one of the billion people that have been chosen to die. Oh, well, there's a billion of us dying, and that is true. Okay, I'm down.
Although I think if this was an American thing, we were talking about America or everywhere.
I think the world,
because a billion would just kill all the Americans, wouldn't it?
Right.
Yeah, I think the thing here is world population.
But maybe the world would be better if that was the case.
Right? Fuck America.
You mentioned before we started recording that in Japan they actually have the opposite of an overpopulation problem.
Yeah, they're having the problem where basically the guys and girls are too busy to get together, and they're more focused on stuff like their careers, and then not as many babies happen as there are people dying. So
it's definitely more of a cultural thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. The main thing with overpopulation is, unless you want to start just killing everyone, the biggest thing that we can do for it is to be proactive as opposed to reactive. Which is why
more contraceptives.
Basically, like, I know no one wants to talk about Planned Parenthood anymore because that's been just burned into the ground.
Well,
but
here's the problem is that you've got to stop it before it happens, or you have to decide who to kill.
Well, that's just
which is easier.
To be honest, the easiest way to control population is just to educate people on contraception. To have resources like Planned Parenthood available for that sort of thing.
And the problem with the other end is that I'm convinced that there's no way that anybody could come to a consensus on who to kill.
I feel like it would just end with killing everyone.
Probably.
Let's do it.
Like, well, we can't decide who to kill, or it's just gonna be a random sample.
Well, we're gonna do it. We're gonna let it be like a volunteer thing. Have it be like a Hunger Games sort of thing.
Yeah.
What if it was something like if you stepped forth and offered to take your own life for the sake of population control, then the government would grant like however much money to your family or to your next of kin or whatever in exchange for you taking your own life.
My idea was going to be the suicide booths from Futurama, where if you want to die, you just can.
It's just no one stops you. It's just convenient.
That's smart. Anyway, that should probably, on that note.
On that extremely depressing note, just like Thanksgiving, we're going to end it. This has been Sadcast Seattle.
Episode 8.
I hope you all have a fantastic Thanksgiving on the real. We as a band are thankful for all you fuckers who pay attention to us and the things that we do.
Oh, in closing, can I say I'm thankful for my parents who have bailed me out like twice on the trip to Seattle and then in Seattle. Like, I don't remember we talked about this. My brakes like exploded on the way here, and they paid for that. Without which I would be probably in debt right now.
You'd be in debt in butt.
I'd be in Butte, Montana, stuck there, just living on the streets,
stuck in butt. I'm not thankful for anything. I hate you if you listen to this, and I hate all of our fans. I hate everything. I'm not thankful for shit.
Sam needs to go to bed, so
Yeah, dude.
we're gonna cut things off there.
That's
Have a
it.
fantastic Thanksgiving and enjoy the first day of Christmas. Next week, festive arts and crafts.